Magandang araw, Podmates. Howie Severino muli na nagpapaalala na nakakatalino ang mahabang attention span. Ang usapin natin ngayon ay ang West Philippine Sea na inaangkin ng China at ang civilian resupply mission ng Atin Ito Coalition na katatapos lang nung nakaraang buwan. Ang guest natin ngayon ay si Eman Hizon, co-convener ng Atin Ito Coalition. Welcome to our show, Eman, and magandang araw sa iyo.
Magandang araw din, Sir Howie, at maraming salamat at imbitahan niyo po ako sa inyong show.
Okay, mahigit 2 weeks nang nakaraan, no? Itong huling civilian mission sa West Philippine Sea. What was your precise role there?
I am the communication director of Atin Ito, so to be particular about it, I'm in charge of relating with media people. I'm in charge of writing the press releases, the statements, and of course, drafting all of these communication plans for Atin Ito.
Okay, in other words, you have the big picture in mind, at the same time tracking what's going on in the high seas. But you yourself, you were not on the boats this time, no? Dun sa huling civilian mission.
Lagi akong nasa command center. So
okay.
I need to coordinate with a lot of people, government agencies, media. Yeah.
Okay, so anong main assessment ninyo, no? Tagumpay ba itong huling civilian mission sa West Philippine Sea o may pagkukulang o pagsisisi?
Matagumpay. Matagumpay ang aming pangalawang civilian resupply mission to the West Philippine Sea, particular dito sa general vicinity of Panatag Shoal and sa ating exclusive economic zone off the coast of Masinloc, Zambales. Maliwanag yung tatlong main objectives ng supply mission na ito. Una, makapag-mobilize ng mahigit 100 na maliliit na mga fishing boats at magkaroon ng isang solidarity and peace regatta or parang parada ng maraming mga maliliit na bangka sa loob ng ating exclusive economic zone off the coast of Masinloc, Zambales. Pangalawang objective is to place symbolic markers or mga buoys carrying the message West Philippine Sea, Atin Ito, doon mismo sa within our exclusive economic zone. At pangatlo ay makapagsagawa ng supply na pagbibigay ng mga kinakailangan supply sa ating mga mangingisda sa Panatag Shoal, particular na ang mga libo-libong litro ng krudo at mga food packs para sa benepisyo po ng ating mga maliliit na mangingisda. So lahat po ng mga objectives na yon ay ating nakamit. Bukod pa roon ay tayo ay nakalapit mismo sa general vicinity of Panatag Shoal. We were as near as 25 to 30 nautical miles from Bajo de Masinloc. We had an advance party who left a day before the official launching of the second citizen-led supply mission. At nakaabot po yun sa general vicinity of Panatag Shoal at nakapagbigay po ng kinakailangang supply po sa ating mga ngisda na patuloy na nagtatrabaho doon po sa nasabing lugar. So all in all, mission accomplished po.
Okay, Emma, no, just for context, sabi nyo nga, this is the second civilian resupply mission. The first one was last year, December 2023, yes. No? And then you also referred to Bajo de Masinloc. That's also known as Scarborough Shoal and Panatag Shoal. No? Just to clarify, baka malito yung ibang listeners natin, baka hindi kabisado lahat ng mga bansag sa area na yan. Ano? But hindi kayo nakaabot sa Bajo de Masinloc, no? So, bakit hindi kayo nakaabot? I mean, wouldn't that have been one of your goals to actually reach it?
From the start, when we announced to the media that we will be having this second civilian-led resupply mission, pinaliwanag talaga namin ng maigi yung aming mga main mga layunin. So, na-mention ko na before yung tatlo. At sinabi rin namin na susubukan natin as much as possible na makalapit sa general vicinity of Panatag Shoal, Scarborough, or Bajo de Masinloc. Batay na rin sa ating mga safety and security protocols. Ina-manage naman natin ang expectation ng mamamayan, kasama na doon ang media at ang ating mga volunteers. Naging matagumpay naman po tayo dahil nakalapit po tayo. Na-penetrate nga po ng advance party natin yung massive blocking force ng China na kanilang sinet up doon, comprised of, more than 20 Chinese Coast Guard vessels and 40 Chinese maritime vessels. Nalagpasan po yun ng ating advanced supply team. So all in all, it was a clear victory for the mission and a clear victory for the Filipino people who are continuing asserting our sovereign rights in the West Philippine Sea.
Okay, there was a blockade by all of these Chinese ships. Some of them were also civilian, some of them were connected to the Chinese government and military. What was the actual risk to the flotilla, no, to the Filipino civilian boats and fishermen?
Ako talagang masusi itong ating pangalawang civilian-led supply mission. Yung una kasi last year when we had our first that was very historic. Ang layunin nun ay makapunta sa general vicinity of Ayungin Shoal at makapagdala ng supply sa ating mga frontliners na nakastasyon doon, no. Marami kami natutunan doon in terms of risk assessment, management, pagpaplano, at yun ang bit-bit namin dito sa pangalawang civilian supply mission. So sa pangalawang supply mission na ito, talagang pinlansya natin ang lahat ng pwedeng mangyaring mga scenarios, from the security and safety aspects, the risk involved. So lahat yun at play. Of course, nandoon din yung scenario na pwedeng ma-water cannon yung ating mga fishing boats, na wala talaga sa scenario natin magpa-water cannon kasi bukod sa lulubog agad yung mga barkong yun ay mga sasakyan namin. Pangalawa ay yun ay source of livelihood ng ating mga kababayang mangingisda. So out of the question talaga magpa-water cannon. Kasama rin sa scenario na yun ay isa-shadow kami ng mga iba't ibang mga sasakyang pandagat ng China. Hindi lang isa-shadow, lalapitan, may mga dangerous maneuvering. So we had all precautions and actions planned for all of those scenarios. And of course, we also coordinated with the government at the very least para lang sabihin namin na this is while it is an independent action of concerned citizens, we are responsible enough to say na kailangan namin i-coordinate at the very least with the Coast Guard, with Marina, and other related agencies.
Okay, clarify ko lang, no? Sino-sino ba yung kasama dito sa mission na to? It's being called a civilian mission, pero wala kayong kasamang security, bantay?
Halo-halo po, mga ordinaryong mga mamamayan po. May mga kaparian po tayo, may mga pare na minobilize po si Father Robert Reyes. Marami po mga kabataan estudyante sa iba't ibang mga paaralan at universidad. Meron din pong mga NGO workers, mga leaders ng mga sectoral organizations, mga representatives of different fisherfolk national organization. Of course, ang pinakamarami po rito yung mga maliliit na mangingisda po mula sa Subic, sa Bataan at sa Masinloc po. So, mga ordinaryong mamamayan po from different walks of life.
Of course, marami din media, no? may taga-GMA din nandun, si Joseph Morong and his team, no? So, of course, importanteng elemento yon na may coverage ito, no? So, how big an aspect of the mission was that you had to broadcast this all over the world, no? Gaano ka laking bahagi yun ng inyong mission?
Malaking bahagi po talaga na ang papel po rito ng mga ating mga kapatid at mga kaibigan ng mga journalist, both sa ating bansa at sa international. Kasi gusto natin ipakita sa buong mundo hindi lamang ang tapang, ang kagitingan ng maliliit na mamamayang Pilipino sa harap ng agresyon at patuloy na acts of harassment and violence in China. Gusto rin natin patuloy na ilahad, i-expose yung ginagawa ng bansang China, kanilang illegal presence, ang kanilang illegal activities dito sa West Philippine Sea. Kasi madaling sabihin ng China na, syempre, yan ang kwento ninyo kasi claimant kayo dyan sa sinasabing disputed na area na yan. So what we tried is to bring in media people from the Philippines and abroad. And also, the beauty about this second mission is that we had international observers. So hindi lamang mga Pilipino ang nakakita, personal witness dito sa agresyon ng bansang China sa ating mismong teritoryo. So when we were like 50 nautical miles away from Panatag Shoal at naglabasan na yung mga dambuhalang mga Chinese Coast Guard vessels, meron pang Chinese naval ship, nagulat yung mga international observers at sabi nga nila hindi na to shadowing kasi when you say shadowing, nando ka lang nasa horizon ka lang, di ba? Pero they were as close as 80 to 100 meters from our convoy. Napakadelikado po noon kasi kapag nag-maneuver sila in a way na kakaiba, yung wave na makikreate nila ay pwedeng magtackle ng ating mga fishing boat. So, yun, nakita nila na personally na talagang patuloy ang aggression doon at ang intimidation at bullying ng China sa West Philippine Sea.
So ano yung contingency nyo, no? Kasi syempre, sabi nyo, ayaw nyo magpa-water cannon. But of course, that's not totally within your control. Di ba? There are two parties involved here, no? So kahit ayaw nyo magpa-water cannon, eh, ano yung contingency nyo just in case na may ganong pangyayari?
Yes. Kaya nung bit-bit namin yung maraming mga lessons, yung experience namin in our first in the historic civilian supply mission last year sa Ayungin Shoal, na napag-isipan namin na dapat yung mga objectives natin for this second mission ay klaro, mas sa katuparan natin, mas kayang abutin. So kahit anong mangyari dito sa ating overall itinerary, ma-cut short, ma-interrupt, or may mga acts of harassment and intimidation, ay makasakatuparan pa rin natin yung ating mission. At nagawa po namin lahat yung objectives na yun. That's one. Second, dun po sa safety and security precautions, maraming mga scenarios at play. Kung basic shadowing lang, basic na nilalapitan lang po kami, magtutuloy-tuloy lang po ang pagbabiyahe po ng civilian na mission. Kapag meron po mga dangerous maneuverings, our boat captains and the crew, in the entire crew po ay minaman po ng mga mangingisda ng Masinloc at Subic, ay mag-implement lang po ng mga evading maneuvers. Hindi po tayo makipagkonfrontasyon, hindi po tayo lalapit. Mag-evade po tayo to maintain our safety and security parameters. Of course, nandoon din po at papasalamat din po tayo sa presensya ng Philippine Coast Guard. At nandoon sila to monitor the civilian activity, and we have coordinated with them that if there are any untoward incident, they are ready to assist us in any way possible. So lahat po yun ay kinonsider po natin sa ating second civilian-led supply mission.
Of course, ano yung may posibilidad nga na magkaroon nga ng insidente, no? So, I'm sure you've heard the criticism na provocative yung inyong ginawa, no? You were really tempting China to do something, and they have had a tendency to respond in certain ways, no? At the same time, you've also probably heard that parang pinapain yung mga mangingisda natin, no? Very vulnerable sector, subsistence fishermen. Sabi mo nga, yung mga bangkang ginamit, yung mga barkong ginamit ay sa kabuhayan nila yan, ano? So kung may mawasak diyan o ma-injure sa kanila, ay syempre apektado yung buong community, mga pamilya nila, no? So how did that play into your calculations? How do you respond to those criticisms?
Well, the mere fact that we were able to execute this second civilian-led supply mission, na lahat ng mga volunteers together with the media and the crew ay nasa katuparan to, na lahat nakabalik ng safe, is a testament to how we planned this meticulously, and top priority po talaga namin ang safety and security ng ating lahat ng mga volunteers and all those who participated in the civilian supply mission. Sinasabi nga namin sa umpisa pa lamang, bagamat maliwanag ang ating mga objectives for this mission, ang laging inaalala po namin, hindi po namin isasangalang-alang yung kaligtasan at kapakanan po ng ating mga kalahok dito sa ating civilian mission. So if ever may nakita po talaga kaming mataas na risk while we are doing the mission sa safety at security ng aming mga tao, nandoon po yung possibility na bumalik, do other things na talagang para hindi po maisangalang-alang yung kaligtasan ng mga tao. Pangalawa, doon po sa mga nagsasabi na what we did was provocation to China. What we did was parang ginagawa namin cannon fathers yung mangingisda, ay parang napaka-unfair naman po noon. Lagi ko nga po sinasabi, bakit sinisisi yung mga maliliit na mga mangingisda na sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, natagpuan nila muli ang kanilang pagkakaisa, natagpuan nila ang kanilang tapang, kanilang giting para lumabas, kasi this is the biggest so far showing of small Filipino fishers na lumabas sila para i-assert ang hindi lamang ang sovereign rights natin sa West Philippine Sea but also the right to fish, the right to livelihood. So bakit po parang sila pa ang sinisisi na kung kailan sila parang natagpuan nila yung kanilang pagkakaisa, kung kailan na nila na napagtanto na kailangan nilang ipaglaban ang kanilang kabuhayan ay sila pa ang binabalingan ng sisi. Hindi po ba ang totoong problema rito yung continuing illegal presence and unlawful activities ng China sa West Philippine Sea? Marami po ako naririnig ganyan pero majority of those things are coming from one from China itself. And the second one is very unfortunate na narinig natin ito sa ilang mga kababayan natin. Lalo na doon sa nakaraang administrasyon na sinasabi na we are provoking China. Pero sa totoo, ang nagpo-provoke po ay mismong China po eh. Pumunta po tayo doon para magbigay ng krudo at mga pagkain sa ating malilit na mangisda. Ang sinalubong po sa atin ay isang massive blocking force, isang armada po ng halo-halong Coast Guard vessels, Navy, and even maritime militia. So doon pa lamang po sa larawang yun, makikita po natin talaga sino nagpo-provoke at sino po talaga ang nag-undermine ng maritime safety sa lugar na yun.
Okay, Eman, yun, tama ka, no? Wala ngang nasaktan, kaya in a way your plans work, no? But on the other hand, some could say you were just lucky na ganun yung naging response because na-breach nyo nga yung blockade ng China, and because of that, the coalition is claiming a kind of victory. Sabi mo nga, matagumpay, it was, mission accomplished daw, no? Sabi ng mga ibang kasama mo. So, what that could have done was humiliate China. Diba? I mean, they're very proud, no? Obviously, and they're claiming this territory. So, maybe the next time you won't be so lucky, no? But I just want to ask, why do you think they allowed the blockade to be breached? No, kasi wala naman kayong armas, no? So this is not a military confrontation na you broke through the, kasi usually the breaching a blockade, no? That's a wartime a word. But in this case, this is a civilian mission. You breached a blockade of Chinese ships, some of which were probably armed, no? Maybe heavily armed, no? So they had to, in a way, allow you to breach their blockade, no? So what's the consideration there when in the past nagwo-water cannon nga sila, nanghaharang sila, mas malapitan pa nga yung pagmamaneuver ng mga barko nila? Could it have been because it was a high-profile mission, marami kayong media, may international media pa nga kayong kasama, or did you sense na nagsasoften na yung kanilang position? They're going to allow more such missions from now on? Mas mabait sila ngayon? Or ano bang sense nyo from observing the other side?
Well, drawing lessons from our first civilian supply mission sa Ayungin Shoal, napagtanto namin na itong second supply mission, hindi po pwedeng katulad lang nung una, na parang we are 100% sure na kapag ginawa natin itong pangalawang supply mission na to, haharangin tayo ng China. So paano pag nangyari yun? Uuwi na ulit ba tayo? Katulad doon nangyari nung una. Nung una kasi, the captain of our ship, yung Kapitan Felix Oca, that big commercial vessel na nulan yung ating mga volunteers, unilaterally decided on his own na kailangan na bumalik. And we respect that decision kasi siya ang master of the ship. Fortunately, one of our small supply boats last year was able to slip past the harassment of China in that area and was able to deliver the supplies and donations sa isang malapit na island, yung Lawak Island. Malapit po yun sa Ayungin Shoal. So in a way, it was a victory for us. So bringing that lesson and that experience sa second supply mission, sinabi namin na hindi po pwedeng maulit na haharangin tayo tapos paano na? So how do we meet our objective? So we planned an advanced team to go one day before the official send off for the civilian-led mission. So tingin namin nakalusot yon dahil China's attention was focused primarily dito sa 100 fishing boats plus the 5 big pangulong ships. Nandoon yung concentration ng yung massive blocking force nila. Yung advanced team namin is composed of just one ship. Tapos meron lang lulan na 10 volunteers and I think 5 or 6 crew members. So madaling nakalusot at hindi napansin ng China. And when they were able to reach the general vicinity of Panatag Shoal, doon na lamang medyo na alerto yung China. In fact, pinadalahan sila doon ng isang Chinese naval ship with body number 175. Nilapitan sila. Parang ganoon din, 100 meters habang namimigay sila ng krudo at pagkain sa ating mga mangingisdang nandoon na sa malapit na sa Panatag Shoal. So, yun yung mga binitbit po nating mga aral at mga yung experience na yun para may sakatuparan po natin itong mission na to.
But of course, you're prepared for the worst case scenario where ang China may gagawin talaga, no, na mas aggressive kaysa sa lumapit lang sa mga mangingisda, no. Pwede kayong i-water cannon, etc. No? So, in that scenario, the Coast Guard, our Coast Guard, the Philippine Coast Guard, committed to defending the flotilla. Sabi mo nga, they were ready to assist. Yun ang word mo, assist, no? Yes. You didn't use the word defend, no? But what kind of assistance in particular were they willing to give, no? So nandun lang sila, nandun din yung Chinese boats, nandun kayo sa pagitan nitong dalawang puwersa. Walk us through that scenario. I'm sure that you had planned for that as well.
Nako Sir Howie, napaka-challenging po talaga iplano nitong civilian supply mission na to kasi hindi lamang to simpleng parang nag-organize ka ng motorcade sa kalsada. There are real safety and security issues at hand here. So, bagamat ito ay isang 100% civilian-led supply mission, it was necessary for us to have minimum level of coordination with different government agencies, particularly na yung National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea at syempre yung Philippine Coast Guard. So when we had a meeting with the Philippine Coast Guard, nag-run kami ng maraming mga scenarios. Kasama po doon yung the scenario of the possibility of being water cannon by Chinese vessels. And they said that they will assist us in any way possible. And they even said that they will be with us all throughout the journey. Ang sinasabi lang nila ay kung anong desisyon nyo at magpapalitan tayo ng mga risk assessments ay we will come up with a decision on it. Pangalawa, masaya kami na habang nagbumabiyahe kami, ang Philippine Coast Guard ay nagbigay ng public announcement that they are deploying 2 more Coast Guard vessels in the area. Ang sumama po doon sa convoy at nag-monitor ay isang 44-meter na vessel. I think it was BRP Cabra. Tapos may pinasunod sila si BRP Boracay saka si Panglao. So naging 3. Although hindi namin masyado nakita yung dalawa, baka nasa vicinity. And we are also grateful that the Philippine Navy said that there is a Philippine Navy ship in the vicinity of the area also monitoring. So yun po ay all factors na kino-consider natin sa mission na to. Napaka challenging po talaga. At hindi po pwede na pupunta lang po tayo roon na wala man lang minimum coordination with the concerned agencies. For example, Marina. Kailangan din namin makipag-coordinate sa Marina kasi we need to secure permits for our pangulongs, yung mga mas malalaki pong mga fishing boats na yun that can accommodate 50 to 100 people. Kasi they are not registered to carry passengers. So we had to secure special permits for that. And they, Marina, the Coast Guards, they all have to inspect our boats, kahit yung maliliit, para to say that they are all seaworthy. So lahat po ng due diligence na yun, dinaanan po natin to ensure the safety and security of our volunteers.
Yeah, okay. Just the way you described it, no? Parang baka mapaisip ngayong ibang tao na is this really a purely civilian mission, no? Kasi may kasama kayong Coast Guard. It's not being called a Coast Guard mission, but they were there just in case, no? So maybe it's more of a quasi-civilian because it also had the full cooperation of the government, apparently, no? So you weren't exactly defenseless, no? May backup kayo na may armas.
Well, magpapasalamat kami sa assistance ng ating gobyerno, lalo-lalo na ng Philippine Coast Guard sa ating civilian supply mission. At lagi naman sinasabi ng Philippine Coast Guard na tungkulin naman talaga nila na pangalagaan ng maritime safety sa lugar na yon, lalong-lalo na ang kaligtasan ng mga mamamayan. Pero this is a 100% civilian-led supply mission. In fact, when we had this first mission last year, medyo nagkaroon pa kami ng world war ng National Task Force on the West Philippine Sea, particularly yung National Security Council. Kasi sabi ng National Security Council, hindi po pwedeng pumunta dyan dahil delikado, bawal. And we asserted ourselves as Filipino citizens. Sasabi natin na, teritoryo natin yan eh. Kung teritoryo natin, it shouldn't be even controversial in the first place. It shouldn't be even big news in the first place kasi it's no different from going to Boracay, to Bohol, di ba? So, and then, medyo we started on the wrong foot and then nagkaroon kami ng pagkakataon para magkausap-usap and then nagkaliwanagan kami ng aming mga objectives. They said that at the very least they will be monitoring the mission. At best they will assist us if there are any untoward incident.
So they withdrew their objections and they agreed with the mission.
I think we were
the National Security Council, I mean.
Yes, I think we were able to persuade them. Kasama ko po doon si Father Ed de la Torre, President po ng Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement, also Rafaela David, President po ng Akbayan. So it was a long meeting, you know. So it was the first time the atin ito and the government meet each other face to face, and we had a long deliberation about it. They were asking us to go to different places instead, but we are asserting no, we would like to go to the general vicinity of Ayung and Siol because during that time ang main symbol ng resistance ng mamamayan ay yung BRP Sierra Madre. Kahit kinakalawang na barko natin yun ay pinapakita ang tapang at tibay ng loob ng ating mamamayan para ipaglaban yung atin. So we were able to convince them and napagbigyan yung ating mission na yon at merong minimum coordination with them. At so bit po natin yung aral na yon at bit po natin yung bagong relasyon na yon sa iba't ibang ahensya. Yun nga po kinaganda nitong atin ito eh. Kasi Father Ed de la Torre would always say na sanay kasi yung mga aktivista na laging nagrereklamo, laging nagpoprotesta laban sa gobyerno. Pero this time around, lahat tayo magkakasama. Isa lang ang narrative natin, isa lang ang kwento natin. Lahat-lahat tayo magkakasama sa isang bangka, sa isang barko para ipaglaban ng West Philippine Sea. So medyo going to the second mission, medyo mas warm po ang aming relasyon, mas madali po kami makapag-coordinate. Marami rin po kaming mga natutunan in terms of how to navigate the ocean, mga nautical miles, and how to pagbasa ng mapa. So it was a profound learning experience for all of us.
Who is funding these missions?
Nako po, ito pong mission na to, napaka-inspiring po dahil mga ordinaryong mamamayan lang po ang tumutulong po sa amin mula po sa mga food packs, mula po sa mga middle class families, mula po sa, in fact itong last po may mga Rotary clubs, meron pong mga estudyante, yung estudyante po natin they're going around the different schools and universities para magsagawa ng West Philippine Sea forums. Pagkatapos po na may mga nagdadala po sila ng mga donations from the students. So from different people po. In fact, itong ating mga bangka ay galing din po sa mga maliliit na mga bayang isda.
Okay, part of China's narrative kasi is all of these kinds of activities are instigated by the United States, no? And it's part of big US conspiracy against China dahil siyempre they're locked in this superpower contest around the world, no, especially in our part of the world, no. So may ugnayan ba kayo sa Amerika? I mean, did the US offer their support? Did they communicate with you? Did they cheer you on? Alam ko yung US military was monitoring and they were providing information about the presence of Chinese ships in the vicinity of the mission, etc. Pero Ano ba yung ugnayan nyo sa US kung meron?
Ang biro-biruan nga po namin sa atin ito eh. Sana nga eh. Sana nga pinupuntahan kami ng US government. Kung meron sila, eh di sana mas malalaki yung mga ginamit namin sa sakyang pandagat, mas marami kaming mga pondo para bumili ng mga communication equipment, mas marami kaming resources para sa aming mga volunteers. Pero yan, ano lang naman yan, biro-biroan. Sa totoo lang, wala po kami any association or relationship with the US government. Of course, the US is monitoring the entire situation together with a lot of allied countries, even Australia. Alam ko marami, no? Even Japan, marami po. Lahat po talaga yung attention ng buong mundo noong from May 14 to 17 ay nakatutok po doon sa general vicinity po ng Panatag Shoal.
Okay, you got their attention, but did you get their support? Yung, kumusta naman yung international response dito? You had international media presence, so ang dami nagmo-monitor ng iba't ibang gobyerno. Were they cheering you on? Were they hoping it would be a success, or medyo masyado ng political for them?
I think the mere fact that they are observing, that the mere fact they're very interested to see how this play out is already a victory for us. Kasi dati, before all of these things, yung harassment, yung acts of violence against our frontliners, against our fisherfolk, dumadating sa atin 3 days after, 1 week after. Ngayon, real time, live, sa social media, sa television, sa radyo, nakikita ng ating mamamayan kung kung paano tayo binubuli ng China sa West Philippine Sea. And I think that is a clear victory for us. Even last year, dami tagumpay ng atin to. Last year, we were able to secure the first, I think, historic live media coverage of a supply mission. Kasi before, naka-embargo, it will take several days before media can report on the supply missions. Pero when we had our first and historic civilian-led supply mission, real time nakapag-report ang media. Pangalawa, it was the first time that foreign journalists were allowed in a supply mission. Dati, hindi ina-allow yan, mga Filipino journalists lang. So ngayong second mission namin, mas maraming mga foreign journalists ang sumama. So in the principles of transparency, in the principles of free media reporting, malaking tagumpay po itong nasasagawa po nating mga supply missions.
Okay, ilang taon na kasi itong tensyon, no, sa pagitan ng China at saka Pilipinas, yan sa lugar na yan, sa West Philippine Sea. Pero ngayon lang nakakapaggawa ng ganitong klaseng civilian mission. Sabi nyo nga, yung first time na pinayagan ng international media. So, ano to? This reflects a change also in attitude or policy ng ating gobyerno? Do you think? Paano ba nagbago yung attitude o yung projection ng Pilipinas dito sa issue na to?
Well, there's a remarkably shift in terms of policy, in terms of perspective from the national government. From the previous government, napaka one-sided. In fact, we don't even hear news of what's happening in West Philippines. Kung may mabalitaan man tayo, late na. At kapag nabalitaan natin na mayroong incident of harassment sa Ayungin Shoal man yan or sa Panatag Shoal, ay tahimik ang ating pamahalaan. To be fair to this current government, no, they are very transparent on what's happening there, and there's a remarkably shift in terms of foreign policy in relating with China on the West Philippine Sea. Mas mark yung pag-assert ng ating victory sa arbitral ruling. Mas klaro ang pagtatanggol ng ating sovereign rights at territorial integrity sa territory natin. So far, we are happy on how the government is doing its policy on the West Philippine Sea with regards to the defense of our frontliners and the fisher. Of course, marami pang pwedeng gawin. Mas marami pa tayong pwedeng asikasuhin. For example, dahil ito sa threat ng illegal pag-aaresto daw ng bansang China sa tinatawag nila so-called trespassers sa West Philippine Sea, we are calling on the national government, Philippine Coast Guard and BIFAR to have more regular patrols at pag-iikot sa vicinity na para tumaas din ang kumpiyansa ng ating mga mangisda sa mga lugar na yun.
Okay, so marami nakapanood at saka sumabaybay dito sa inyong mission, ano? Baka maraming nagkaroon ng idea sa mga Pilipino na, uy, punta tayo doon. In fact, I've heard it myself, no? Among people I know na, uy, gusto ko rin pumunta doon. Is that something you would encourage? Maaring yung mga susunod na mission sa inyo, hindi kasing organized, no? Hindi makipag-coordinate sa Coast Guard, sa National Security Council and all of that, na kanya-kanyang diskarte na lang. At yun nga, dahil nakita nga yung inyong halimbawa na yun nga, you're claiming victory, wala naman nasaktan, mukhang wala naman masyadong na damage na gamit ng mga mangisda, etc. No? So it looked like a victory all around. Baka maraming ma-encourage. In fact, people are actually thinking about it already. Is this something that you would want to happen na marami nang pumunta doon to assert Philippine sovereignty, mga civilian mission katulad ng ginawa ninyo?
In fact, that's one of the main reasons na create ng atin ito. Para maipakita na merong papel ang mga ordinaryong mamamayan para ipaglaban ang ating interes at karapatan sa West Philippine Sea. Na hindi lamang to trabaho ng Philippine Coast Guard, hindi lamang to trabaho ng militar, hindi lamang to trabaho ng gobyerno, pero trabaho rin po to ng mga ordinaryong mamamayan. At sa mga maliliit na bagay, marami tayong pwede gawin. Isa po yun. Pangalawa, gusto namin i-normalize, i-regularize ang civilian access sa West Philippine Sea. Dapat may regular at consistent, predictable access dyan ng ating mga mangingisda. At syempre, yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan. Ang biro-biroan nga po namin sa atin ito ay kung hindi nagawa ng dating Pangulo na mag-jet ski sa West Philippine Sea, ay pwede natin gawin yun within the safe vicinity of our exclusive economic zone. Baka pwede rin tayong merong water games dyan, no? May nagsasabi nga, baka pwede naman parang solidarity tourism, no? Parang let's go to Pag-asa Island, no? So mga ganon. So it's not necessarily parang confrontation, not necessarily always militant, pero there are a lot of possibilities to express solidarity with our fisherfolk and our frontliners at the same time peacefully but firmly asserting our rights in the West Philippine Sea. Alam ko po ngayon, meron pong grupo rin ng malilit na mangisda na pumalaot ulit. I think they were greatly inspired by our second supply mission, and I think they are within the vicinity of our territorial waters having a fishing expedition. So yun po yung mga gusto namin gawin. Pero of course, lagi namin pinapaalala, safety and security must always be the priorities of all of these civilian initiatives.
Well, yun na nga, no? Maaari magkaroon ng copycats, no? Na tularan kayo, pumunta doon, pero hindi maganda yung magiging outcome, no? May masasaktan kasi nga, in a way, pwedeng pakiramdam ng China ngayon, napahiya sila, no? Napahiya sila na puro civilian, mga mangisda, mga, naka-breach ng kanilang blockade ng mga modern ships, no? Sa susunod, baka hindi na maganda yung magiging outcome, hindi na maging peaceful. If that happens, kung may masaktan in the near future dahil nga gumaya sa inyo, no? Sumunod sa inyong halimbawa, would you feel responsible somehow for that? For a bad outcome for future missions?
Una-una, sa mga may inspire na magsagawa rin ng mga similar activities doon sa ating minamahal na West Philippine Sea, ang lagi namin paalala, kapag nagplano kayo ay laging isaalang-alang ang kaligtasan at kapakanan ng inyong mga isasama sa mga activities na to. That's one. Pangalawa, ang kailangan kung meron mang mangyaring any untoward incident sa ating mga mamamayan na pumunta roon or ating mga mangingisda na simpleng nangingisda lamang sa area ngayon, ang dapat sisihin po roon ay yung China. Unang-una, dapat wala sila roon. The mere fact that they are there. Why are they there in the first place? Pangalawa, hindi na nga lang sila trespasser. Harasser pa sila. May mga acts of violence pa sila sa ating mga mangingisda. So, dapat ang atensyon ay nandoon. Ang weight of responsibility ay nandoon sa may illegal na presensya, may mga unlawful actions sa ating mismong teritoryo.
How do you see the situation there unfolding? Kasi you're claiming victory now, no? But that's for this particular mission. But ano bang ibig sabihin ng victory dyan sa West Philippine Sea? Talagang aalis ang China? Is that really realistic? I'm sure nobody in his right mind is foreseeing a successful military confrontation between the Philippines and China unless the US is involved. Yun nga yung kinatatakot ng marami, no? So I'm sure wala naman nagpaplano na i-confront intentionally, no, ang China. But how do you foresee the long game here? When can you say that the Philippines is really victorious in this dispute?
Matagal pa po itong laban na to sa West Philippine Sea. At sa amin, sa atin ito, nakikita natin, ang theory of victory namin ngayon ay kapag na-mobilize po natin ang kalakhang bilang ng mamamayan into one national narrative. Na kahit ano man ang pagkakaiba natin, kahit magdebate man tayo, kahit magtalo man tayo sa iba't ibang mga issue, pero pag sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea, iisa lamang ating kwento, iisa lang ating naratibo, iisa lamang ating tindig. Na ito ay atin at pinaglalaban natin to sa isang mapayapa at nagkakaisang paraan. Yun ang theory of victory namin sa kasalukuyan, na magsama-sama lahat ng mamamayan. Na hindi yung parang nagsisisihan pa tayo, na parang bakit pa kayo lumaban? Bakit pa kayo pumunta roon? Kung hindi kayo pumunta roon ay hindi lalim nagalit ang China. Pero hindi naman po pwedeng ang mga mangingisda ay lagi na lamang parang umaasa sa awa ng isang trespasser na dapat ay wala roon, no? So dapat magkaisa tayo. Dapat i-celebrate natin tong natagpo ang pagkakaisa ng mga maliliit na mga mangingisda. I-celebrate natin ang kanilang giting, ang kanilang tapang, at magkaroon tayo ng isang naratibo sa West Philippines. At ito ay magkaisa tayo, magsama-sama tayo, bagamat magkakaiba tayo ng kulay, magkakaiba tayo ng mga paniniwala, pero sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea, walang duda, dapat tayo nagkakaisa para ipaglaban ito.
Okay, yung pagkakaisa na yan, ano, sabi nyo nga, medyo mahaba pa itong labanan na to, itong issue na to, no? Kasama na yan, na yung divided society in a way. Nabanggit mo yung nakaraang pamahalaan, yung gobyerno, no, na very pro-China. And then hanggang ngayon ay very vocal at active pa rin yung kanilang mga kaalyado, yung mga marami din mga influencers na may ganong pananaw, no? But do you think from your point of view nag-shift na ang public opinion? Kasi after all, the previous administration that was pro-China was very popular and many subscribed to that narrative na ang mas independent na foreign policy ng Pilipinas ay ang lumalabas doon anti-America and pro-China, no? Mas yun nga, nagpipivot tayo towards the superpower in our neighborhood rather and away from the superpower that's across an ocean, no? So it was seemed to be a pragmatic approach, no? Pero ngayon, sabi niyo nga medyo may pagbabago sa larangan ng mga administrasyon, ano? So ano yung sense mo? Is this leading to a shift in the national narrative, itong public opinion ng ating lipunan?
I think there's a dramatic shift in the public consciousness concerning West Philippine Sea. Nung unang mission namin, medyo parang we were able to parang first mission namin last year, no December, parang disruptor kami. Parang we disrupted the old narrative na wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Sila na talaga yung nandyan. Control na nila yan. And we were able to demonstrate na hindi. May magagawa tayong mga maliliit na mamamayan. And we were able to, reach out to a lot of hearts and minds in our first mission. Itong pangalawang mission, mas overwhelming. Mas maraming mamamayan ang naniniwala na hindi lamang na atin yung lugar na yan, pero may mga magagawa sila. So the mere picture, image of small fishermen peacefully asserting themselves the right to fish, the right to livelihood, feeling ang assessment namin ay maraming mga mamamayan ang naantig po roon. And from a communication point of view, I think why we were very successful in our second mission is that we have a very simple but powerful narrative. And that narrative is kahit sino ka man, kahit anong paniniwala mo, kahit magpatayan pa tayo sa ibang mga issue, pero sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea, dapat walang pagtatalo, walang debate. Atin yun. Atin itong lugar na ito. Unlike yung narrative ng defenders of the old the previous administrations na sabi na this is a conspiracy with the US, they are funded by the Philippine and the US government. It's a very complex narrative. Ang hirap ipaliwanag. Whereas yung nandun lang kami, nagsama-sama kami, may mga pare, may mga kabataan, may mga mangingisda. Ang layunin lamang ay pumunta doon para sa isang mapayapang activity na maglagay ng mga boya, magbigay ng mga krudo, magbigay ng mga pagkain. I think it resonated with a lot of people.
Okay, kasi we're up against China, which has, a history of thousands of years, no? Tayo yung recorded history natin, hundreds of years lang. So we're a relatively recent nation, compared to China. So they're willing to sit on this for generations, no? Long game nga yung nakasanayan nila dito, no? But how do you see this unfolding?
First, we would like to introduce a new normal, and that new normal is we want regular civilian access to the West Philippine Sea. So ang old normal ay puro mga sasakyang pandagat lamang ng China nandyan, Coast Guard vessels, Navy. Gusto natin mag-introduce ng new normal na malaki ang presensya dyan ng mga ordinaryong mamamayang Pilipino. Mangingisdaman sila, mga civilian volunteers man sila doing supply missions or whatever. Basta ginagawa natin yun peacefully and within our right to movement within our own territories. That's one. Ginagawa natin yun hopefully to add pressure in mobilizing a strong international public opinion. May mga plano na ngayon, may mga usapin, kailangan natin mag-file ng new arbitration case laban sa China. Pero this time around, hindi lamang tayo, kasama na natin ng iba pang mga bansa gaya ng Vietnam, Indonesia na nakakaranas din ng iba't ibang acts of violence and harassment laban sa China. So may mga gano'n na mga scenarios. Pangalawa, I think may mga naririnig din kami na parang Vietnam, Taiwan, they're also planning civilian supply missions. Magandang oportunidad yun para sa active citizenship. Pangatlo, while we are consistently asserting our sovereign rights, our territorial integrity in the West Philippine Sea, hindi naman po tayo madamot sa ibang mga mangingisda ng ibang lahi. In fact, the arbitration ruling said that Panatag Shoal is a traditional fishing ground, hindi lamang ng mga Pilipino, kundi ng mamamayang ng China, ng Taiwan, ng Vietnam. In fact, malaya at mapayapa tayo nangingisda na sabay-sabay doon . Pero bagamat kinikilalang fishing ground dyan ng iba't ibang mga lahi, kailangan maliwanag na iyan ay integral na bahagi ng exclusive economic zone ng bansang Pilipinas. Hindi naman po natin pinagdadamot . Hindi katulad ng ginagawa ng China ngayon, hinaharangan yung bukana ng Panatag Shoal at pinapahirapan yung ating mangingisda na gawin ng kanilang trabaho. In fact, kapag may mga bagyo, hindi sila makadaong sa loob ng Panatag Shoal. Kaya po siya tinawag na panatag, di po ba? Dahil doon po naglalagi yung ating mga sasakyang pandagat para maprotektahan sila sa mga bagyo. So, yeah, ganoon po yung gusto nating mangyari po rito, no? We would like to mobilize strong international public opinion in any case that we file a new arbitration case. And malaking factor po rito yung elemento ng active citizenship. We want to introduce a new normal where a lot of citizens, Filipino citizens, can go there and peacefully assert themselves na hindi lamang China ang nandyan, hindi lamang kayo ang may control dyan. So we assert ourselves, we undermine China's illegal actions and illegal control of that area by ignoring it.
Okay, I just want to reference what you said about a shift in public opinion, and then you're advocating a new normal. But I want to ask you about what Randy David wrote about very recently about the rise of a new nationalism naman, no? Kasi what your coalition is fighting for is not just fishing rights, but sovereignty. It's a form of nationalism. You're asserting the rights of Filipinos to territory, to its traditional fishing waters, no? Ang basically sinasabi ni Randy is kasi mga aktivista kayo, no? Kasama na si Ed De La Torre. And sinasabi ni Randy yung the modern Filipino nationalist tradition was pro-China, no? Pro-China, yun ang roots. Even Ed De La Torre, you've mentioned it. He's one of the leaders of itong coalition na to. He's an ex-communist. He's also an ex-priest, no? So nababanggit din yun minsan. But he himself has been part of this kind of an anti-China, pro-Filipino missions, ano? So, do you agree with that? I mean, hindi lang nag-shift itong public opinion, but it's a new form of nationalism na dati dahil nga yung left, no, was allied with China. Dahil China of course is a communist state na for a while was a model for a lot of movements around the world, and the enemy was America, no, yung imperialist America. But now nakikita yung mission nyo as somehow allied with US interests, no? Whether you like it or not, no? Kasi both the US and the Philippines want China out of those waters for their own agenda, no? So anong tingin nyo doon in terms of like this is part of the bigger picture here about where our society is going related to this issue of West Philippine Sea? Has it ignited this new nationalism that's now more anti-China than pro-China?
Definitely, there's a shift not only in the public consciousness but also in the discourse within the broad left and progressive movement here in the Philippines. For the longest time, the analysis of many progressives, many left-leaning organizations and political parties ay nakatutok sa US imperialism, the dominance of the US war machinery, its economics sa ating bansa. Pero in the last I think the last decade, we members of Atin to, particularly Akbayan, introduced that hindi lamang China, hindi lamang Estados Unidos ang tila nag-undermine sa ating mga karapatan, kundi itong slow but assertive rise ng China sa ating lugar. In fact, within our political party, Akbayan, we are assessing that China is on the path towards imperialism. We're not ready yet to say that it's an imperialist country, but surely enough, it is on its way of mimicking the superpowers like the United States and Russia, what they have been doing right now. In fact, they're also planning on establishing military bases abroad. I think they have already one in Africa, and they are asking other countries to support their staging military bases. You know? Second, they have this assertive and continuing claim to parts of the region that hindi sa kanila. They are claiming parts of Vietnam, they're claiming parts of Japan, the Philippines, and Indonesia. So, yeah, definitely there's a shift in the discourse among in the left na sinasabi natin, yeah, even as we continue to criticize and oppose U.S. imperialist policies, we should not give China na hindi natin sila tinitindigan sa kanilang mga imperial ambitions din, hindi lamang sa ating rehiyon pero sa ating buong mundo. So this is a continuing debate among many progressives here in the Philippines, but for atin ito, we see it, we are united in saying that right now China poses the most real and imminent threat to our territorial integrity in the West Philippine Sea.
Okay, finally, you have referred to Bajo de Masinloc, but you've also called it Panatag Shoal. It's also being called Scarborough Shoal in other contexts. What should Filipinos call it? If you consider language and names are important, no, to this whole discourse nga. Ano ba dapat ang tawag natin dyan?
Ang Bajo de Masinloc kasi ito ay Spanish name na pinangalan nito nung panahon na nakolonya pa tayo ng Espanya. Maganda rin bitbitin yung Bajo de Masinloc dahil pinapakita nito dahil kahit nung panahon pa ng Spanish rule ay talagang nasa mapa to, talagang kinikilala na parte ng ating teritoryo. Pero dahil tayo nasa modernong yugto na, dapat tayo magkaisa na tawagin natin tong Panatag Shoal.
Okay. So, on that note, maraming salamat sa panahon at sa iyong pagbabahagi. Eman Hizon, co-convener of Atin Ito Coalition that's been conducting civilian missions to the West Philippine Sea. Mabuhay kayo and sana lagi kayong ligtas. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino podcast. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.